If you clicked on here looking for wild theories about Jesus escaping from the tomb, like the swoon theory or aliens stole his body, well, then I'm sorry, this is not that video. But if you are looking for a fun Easter activity to teach and expose your students to the Easter story, well, then you're in the right place. My name is Paul Turner from thediscipleproject.net, and I help youth pastors just like you build successful youth ministries. Successful youth groups have students who know and understand the Easter story. It's the why behind our gathering. But more and more students don't know or understand this historical and life-changing event, and that's why I created this Escape the Tomb escape room to do with your students. Let me take you to my table and show you how I put this together. All right, everybody, here's my setup. Here's puzzle number 1, puzzle number 2, puzzle number 3, puzzle number 4, and puzzle number 5, and I'll tell you why I changed this here in just a minute. But yeah, I put each of the puzzle pieces, if you will, the task they must perform, inside each one of these folders, and I put them around the room. And I encourage you in the PDF, which by the way you can download, there's a link down below, it's pay what you want, and each one of these folders has a complete task. It has a complete puzzle in it. So let's start with number 1, running out of timeline. Running out of timeline is really simple. It's simply taking the events of the crucifixion and resurrection and putting them in order, putting them in the right timeline. When did they happen? And in the PDF, I give you all the cards already pre-written. So all you have to do is print them off on some cardstock and put them in your folder and then let your students get after it. Instructions for each of these that let you know, yes, when is it okay to use the Bible? When do you cue them to do this? How much time do you put on the clock? All of that is included in the resource. Okay, let's head over to number 2. Out of 1, many. Okay, puzzle number 2 is an anagram. And an anagram is where you take one word and out of it you make multiple words, like the word resurrection, which in this case is find the key word. These are all mixed up. You put them in the bag, mix them up so they don't know what they are, and then they can start to find words in there, 3 or more letters. And by the way, each of these little puzzles here comes with a little lesson. So if you want to teach this and just do one of these, you can do that. As you can see here, my students went through and they wrote down, I encourage them to write down the words they find, and then I give them either bonus points, it's pass or fail. You have your options and choices as to whether or not they find the actual word resurrection. Let's go into puzzle number 3. Puzzle number 3 is the search. And I made a searching for Jesus search puzzle, and your students have to find these words all related to the Easter story. In addition, there's a little bonus to that if they're able to finish this in time, then you could put Jesus on some index cards, 1 letter per card, and hide them around the room, and they have to find the letters and put those together. So this one's super simple. Let's move on to puzzle number 4. Puzzle number 4 is the crossword, where I made a little crossword puzzle here, and it has all the questions that relate to the crucifixion and the resurrection. Now you say, Paul, that seems like kind of hard for students. Well, it is, until you say, look, here's a little envelope you can give them, open in case of emergency. G. And I guess you can figure out who the G is, because in here is scripture references that will help them answer all of these questions. But I'd let them struggle for about 30 seconds to a minute to see if they can answer any of these questions on their own, and then I would pop this out and say, here, give it a shot. On to puzzle 5. Okay, puzzle number 5 is a little bit more elaborate, and I changed it from the Dial of Destiny so that I would not get sued by anybody in the movie industry, and I changed it to Dial 53 because it deals with Isaiah 53, which many consider to be a prophecy of the Messiah, Jesus. And yes, there's some debate over that as to whether it points to Jesus or not, but it's awfully hard to not make the connection based on the prophetic words of Isaiah. Now, this is a game that you should probably leave for last because this is something all of your students in the group can do and should do to build some tension. So here's the deal. There are true and false questions. There's also multiple choice questions, right? There's C and D. There are 2 piles, and since this recording, I make a recommendation in the PDF to make these 2 different colors so they know there's a difference between true and false questions and multiple choice questions. I've also changed them into squares so they are uniform. So you would ask the questions off of the true or false, or wherever the leader may be, and then the student will have to say true or false. If the answer is correct, they get 1 point. But they must alternate between the questions, and students can't help each other. And in the PDF, I give you all the instructions. I give you Isaiah 53 already printed here. You can print it out, and you'll let your students read that through first, and then go ahead and take the puzzle challenge. And the cool thing about this is you could use this with anything. This becomes like a big game board that you could use with other portions of Scripture. So those are the 5 challenges your students will have to overcome in order to escape the tomb. Now listen, you don't have to do all of this in one night. The Escape the Tomb resource that you can download, by the way, link below, it's pay what you want, is jam-packed with ideas on how to use these puzzles. You don't have to use them all in one day. You can split them out over weeks or use it as part of your small groups or Sunday school class. And listen, if you really like doing escape rooms, maybe you've taken your students to an escape room and they really enjoy that. Well, listen, I have an escape room on Paul and Silas, and you can check the videos right here and check out what I did with Paul and Silas and how you can escape the jail. And of course, if you're looking for other ideas for teaching and illustrations, well, there's videos for that as well. A whole playlist filled with about 100 ideas, and I hope that you'll check them out. But that is it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are brand new here to the channel, thank you for being here. If you're not a subscriber yet, go ahead and join the community and hit that subscribe button down there and get great ideas like this in your inbox on a regular basis. And if you really like the video and you want to help this channel get known amongst other youth workers, well, hit the like button and don't forget to share it. That's it for today, everybody. I'll catch you guys in the next video.